Sangita Patel.
And Carlos Bustamante from Click and Tell.
It's so good to see you, buddy.
So great to see you both. How you doing?
Good. We're so excited to have you.
Yeah.
And maybe this is our first double that you're having, but
It is, yeah.
we just watched the film yesterday, and it was fantastic. Yeah.
Congratulations. It was just one of those experiences that was like, number one, it took me back to when I was a kid in the 90s watching movies.
Yep.
And number two, it was just one of those things where it's just nonstop. It's just like event after event, laugh after laugh. It was such a great time. So again, congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
As this your directorial debut, is this still everything you wanted and expected?
Yes. I mean, actually, yes. You know, I mean, I got a draft of the script for the first time 4 years ago. And when I finished that script, I was cracking up laughing. I saw people that I felt like I knew and grew up with. And to your point, Carlos, I also miss that feeling of 90s classics, you know, films that we grew up on that you don't really see that much. So, and the intention was there for it to feel like one of those classic comedies that hasn't been there, we haven't had in a while. And I think we were able to pull it off. So I'm so happy with how it turned out. Of course, it's always something that I wish I had, a shot of this, a shot of that.
Yeah, of course.
I think every director can say that about every movie they've ever done. So
I love it.
Do you think that there's more space now for this type of movie? Like you just said, you know, the kind of film that we grew up on, in the 90s. Now that we have so many ways to watch movies, is there more space to make films of this size, this pace, this kind of comedy?
I think so. I really do. And I hope that this movie opens the floodgates for more films like this. You know, I think Hollywood it's so many remakes. It's all remakes all the time. And sometimes it's refreshing to have that original film and have hundreds of people in a theater just on the same frequency, laughing together, sharing jokes, walking out, quoting the film. So absolutely, I 100% think that this is going to open up the floodgates, and I hope it does. And
yeah. And then you have SZA and you have Kiki. I mean, dynamic duo. And part of Click and Tell is we go through your social media and look for photos. You only have 6 posts on your Instagram. Yes. I was like, I DM'd you yesterday. I was like, yo, I'm looking forward to chatting with you. And I'm like, this guy's not anywhere on social. I mean, we got to pick a ball with you. Like, what's going on there?
I've archived a bunch of stuff. I mean, it's just, you know, I
was like, where's it all? But we did get this photo of the actual the movie itself, and it has a lot going on. There's chaos in all of it. And when you look at this photo, what does it really represent for you? And you kind of mentioned about bringing back the moments of the 90s, but what does it mean for you to be able to bring this to life?
I mean, it means so much. And like when I look at this image, I'm looking at the poster right here, right now.
Yeah.
It's like our whole film kind of in one photo, you know? It's like they're fed up. They're having one of those days, apartment windows on fire. You see Keyshawn's photo is is right here, and he's the reason why they're even in all this.
Gosh.
So it means a lot. You know, I was just mentioning how I went to see Superbad in high school, and that was an experience that I've kept with me during this process. You know, let alone films like Friday and you know, a lot of stuff that John Singleton had done in the 90s, from Boys in the Hood to Poetic Justice. So,
Boys in the Hood, my favorite film ever.
Yeah, it means a lot. And I hope people like have that same reaction. I'm like, you know what? I gotta go see this again. I'm going tomorrow with my other best friend. I'm going to go again. I'm going to tell everybody about it. I'm going to be quoting it. So that's like my intention behind this.
Yeah. Going with the best friend that your first best friend doesn't know is your actual best friend.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not the best friend.
and then you see that best friend with their other best friend, and now you're like, wait,
messed up. It's messed up. And this is your first acting gig, and the fact that you were able to be part of that must be special for you.
Yeah, so special. You know, this is her first feature acting role. She was in an Insecure episode playing a small character. But yeah, it means a lot. I mean, she's such a special artist and makes some of the best music like in the world. For her I knew that she was gonna have it though, just because I'm a fan of her music, and to be able to emote that way, you know, or whether you're a singer, a painter, or whatever, mostly definitely musicians, that's helps translate feelings on the screen to me, you know. So she understood the timing. She already when I first met her, I'm like, you're already Alyssa. Like, this is, you're Alyssa. Like, you know, so.
The Zen mode.
Exactly.
I was getting frustrated with her character. I'm like, dude, you need to pick it up.
She's the problem and the solution.
Yeah.
Right.
We walked out and she was like, if I had a friend like her, I swear to God. I was like, I'm that sometimes. That's me.
Yep.
You're looking at the poster again, looking at the picture. I was curious about, like, was that a shot taken on the day when you were actually shooting that scene?
Yeah.
So you were there when that whole thing was being packaged together and presented. Did you know this is the image that we want to portray as like the front image for everybody to come and see this movie?
Truly. Yeah. I mean, the idea kind of was floated between my producers and myself about them just, the poster with them just being on this couch, you know, like we don't know where, how, you know, whether it will be in the courtyard, you know, moment or here. But this just made the most sense, you know, with this colored couch. It was perfect. You know, when I saw them take a picture, I kind of, before I went through all the selects and whatnot, I knew like that this would be the poster.
Now, in your post of your 6th post on IG, one really stuck out for us, which was when you put this post up from Deadline, and your caption was so incredibly, it was resonated with us because you wrote, one of the main things I've learned is that there's only one way to lose, and that's not by giving up. So I urge anyone out there with a bigger than life dream to keep going. Was this a pivotal moment for you in your career?
Yes, it was a huge moment for me. I've wanted to direct movies since I was wrapping up high school, you know, and everybody, you might think that there's a pathway that's going to be the right one. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to LA. I'm going to have this meeting. They're going to pick my stuff. But things change, you know, and if that's why I said, like, just don't give up, because your road may get windy. It may be some potholes, you know, but if you stick to it, then who knows what can happen. And, you know, I'm happy that I'm here. I'm grateful that I got all the no's that I've gotten in my career, because that's just made this moment that much sweeter.
I think it's really great that people are able to, even with like either your posts on Instagram or the posts you've done on Twitter X, you talk about this quite a bit, this journey of like basically persevering. Yeah. And you like to tell people, like, you know, don't give up, keep going. This is happening with me. This can happen for you too. Yes. Who was the person for you that helped you? And if there was, I'm not entirely sure, but who would that person have been that helped you either believe in yourself when you felt like maybe this isn't going to happen, or really gave you that push to be like, you got it, you had this, you got this?
I would say it was my mom. Truly, it was my mom, you know. Growing up, I was a very creative kid, and I was in all sorts of arts. I was in theater, I was writing, I was doing everything. And she never snipped my creative wings, you know, essentially.
That's amazing.
I think a lot of people's dreams are shattered by people close to them unintentionally, you know, because it's like, the odds are so low to do this. Maybe you should go to school to be this, or maybe you should do that. I never got that. And even when I wouldn't believe in myself, she would instill that faith in me. She would let me know, you know, faith as a mustard seed is all you need for something to sprout. And she also introduced me to the law of attraction and all sorts of things that I kind of still use, and with my journaling and just deep affirmations and whatnot. So it would be my mom.
I know that's something special about you and Issa. I mean, we talk about Issa's getting all those no's, and then she did something on her own, and now she's like a mogul, and she has everything. Right. I mean, I think she even knows coffee shops now at this point.
You
know, that everything, right? The rosé. What am I missing? There's so much.
House,
She's got it all, and now you're working with her. I understand working with her under her company.
Yep.
She has this ability to make people grow and find themselves within what their strength is.
Totally.
What is it about her that has brought you to the next level?
I would say just because I was a fan of Issa before we started working together. You know, I remember watching Insecure and knowing about her story and just thinking to myself how inspiring that is. Yeah. And once I saw, you know, what she's done for people, and now I'm, you know, a part of her tree. I think the main thing is like how she instills confidence in people. You know, she's such a mogul and superstar that if somebody like her believes in you, how can I not believe in myself? You know?
Yeah.
What is those words that she said to you for you to believe in yourself? Is there anything that particular that she shared and, you know, you kind of keep near and dear to yourself?
I mean, it's more about her actions, you know? Like, I know that she trusts my vision. I know that it's some days where, you know, on set, we're moving so fast and I can't do 5, 6 takes, 7 takes today.
Right.
In a scene because I got to make my day. And I'll let her know, trust me, I got it. And she does trust me. So I think that's big too. And I've heard things before even when we worked together on Rap-ish on HBO Max. You know,
I think you could say the word.
I think it's right. But
there you go.
you know, I will find out like later that because I always have crazy creative ideas, and I'm like, is the studio gonna let me do this? Let me pull this off? And I'll find out later that she will fight for some of the things that may have gotten canned if it was somebody else. So
that's impressive.
You know what? I like that you just mentioned about the crazy ideas, because when I was watching the movie, I kept thinking to myself, this feels like it's something that's made by friends that are sitting, writing things down and just giggling the entire time. And I'd be like, yo, wouldn't it be hilarious? Is this like, was that really the process? Because that's what it felt like watching it.
Yeah, actually it was, to be completely honest. I mean, you know, the script stage is one thing, and we've all read multiple drafts of the script, and it went through many versions before we got to the shooting script. But even the shot listing of it all and just the production design element, the prep was so much fun, you know? I like to say when I read the script, I like to write down just anything possible, you know, that I can think of, you know? So stuff like the Biscuit Burglar. And when you first see him, it's like his POV through the camera, you know, it's like pushing through. Like that was something that just came up in a shot listing session with my cinematographer, and we were cracking up. So I'm like, if we're laughing this hard, planning this has to work, you know? So a lot of that stuff was intentional for sure.
Now, talking about your mom, there was this photo of you that you put down with you had all these VHS behind you. I don't know if you remember this. And I think that's your little pop right there.
Yep. That's
right. Like you're in your lair and your element.
This was at my aunt's house, who passed away some years ago. But I would say I fell in love with cinema there because she was such a movie buff, as you see on that picture. Like that's not even half of the movies that she recorded. And she would just record stuff on VHS tapes, and I would lock myself in a room and watch everything, you know? And I chose that picture specifically because that is like the start of me being lost in the magic of filmmaking.
That's awesome. Is there a particular film that you remember from that time that you just, the one that kind of unlocked it for you?
Yes. I mean, it's a lot. You know, I was watching things that I shouldn't have been watching. So, like, I would say, like, Taxi Driver. I saw Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
That age, you know, Scorsese. And then I was watching a lot of Stanley Kubrick stuff, too. You know, I remember, like, I know this is stuff like a 9-year-old shouldn't be watching, but I was watching, like, Clockwork Orange. And I just remember these moments really just sticking with me. And then I jumped to Spike Lee. You know, I would watch... I remember just seeing all of his stuff young, but specifically like Crooklyn, and seeing a movie where I saw myself, my family, my friends on the screen at such a young age. And it just resonated with me and kind of jump-started me thinking that I can do this, even before I actually knew what I wanted to do.
Yeah. You know, you talked about all the no's you got, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you've had one of them days, right?
Oh, yeah. I've had them.
You've had a lot of it.
A lot of one of that.
Is there one that you've had recently that kind of bothered you, I guess?
You know, thankfully, not recently.
Okay.
Since I've done television and some commercials, the yeses have finally started. They finally started to come.
Yes.
But I definitely have had moments in the past, though. Like, I've been attached to a film before that didn't get made, and I was just pitching my life away and doing everything right, walking out of meetings like, God, this has to be it. They have a vision. And it just didn't happen, you know? And I think that only instilled like me having the perseverance that you need to make it in this town. So I'm grateful for the no's, honestly.
Yeah. So what do you say to yourself when those moments happen?
I mean, it's tough. I mean, the first couple days, it's like the imposter syndrome kicks in.
Yeah.
I think you go to all those dark, deep thoughts like, am I good? Like, do I even know what I'm doing? Like, is this, where am I in the right field? You know, so I have those moments, and then I take a step back. I talk to some close friends. I watch a favorite film, and I just align myself with my purpose. And I realize that I don't really have a plan B. So this has to work.
I gotta get it. So, people talk about getting in a flow state. Like athletes often talk about getting in that zone, getting in a flow state.
Sure.
When you're in that, what is that for you? What's the environment? What's the feeling? What are you doing when you're in that flow state for yourself?
Yeah. So I live like by the ocean. So I'm like 5 minutes, like a 5-minute walk. So I'm there like weekly. And I think I take a journal with me, and I'm always journaling in gold. That's something I've been doing lately, just writing my intentions down. And I think that it just feels like, I'm happy to be here. I heard once that, when you're grateful or showing gratitude for something, it's the only time that you can feel grounded and elevated at the same time. So I like to lean into that. And even on set, that's when I really have the flow state, and I lean into my intuition. It's sometimes I get home and I'm like, did I get it all? And I'll see it takes, and I'm like, we got it all. And I attribute that to being in that flow state and just trusting myself and knowing we got it, we can move on. This is going to work.
I'm curious to know, how do you define success for yourself?
Oh, wow. That's a good one. Changing someone's life, making somebody laugh, making somebody feel moved. It's definitely not like money or fame or anything. It's about what I can do to like the collective consciousness. And I'm happy I'm a filmmaker, because I think that's the opportunity to be able to shine light in an artistic way and make people have fun.
Yeah, the money's good too. Yeah, I mean, a little bit of respect, a little bit of money, but it
helps, I guess.
Right? More walks on the beach when that happens, right?
I've been asking some questions, and you just answer whatever comes to your mind, okay? You're pretty new to IG. Do you like it, or will you grow on it?
Wait, ask that again. What did you say?
You're pretty new to Instagram. Do you like it, or will you grow at it?
So I'm actually not new to Instagram. I strategically
selective, Sangita.
Images.
Yes.
Well, why? What's the reason? Give me the reason why.
I don't know. It's tough for me to, see old me. It's like cringe or something. If you went to my Facebook is public. You that's where you should have looked.
Damn, we should look back at his Facebook. Who is a person you like to follow?
Yeah.
On social media. I like following pages like Director Fits. I don't know if you've ever heard of that page. Or like I love following Spike Lee. And like it's like a film humor page that I think is great. But Director Fits is cool because they like pick all like directors from since the golden ages of cinema and just literally just highlights their outfits. And I'm like,
I love that. So cool. That's good. I actually like that. Yo.
Your favorite SZA song?
Oh, I would say Saturn.
And if you could pick a moment in 2024, which would you like to bring to life on screen?
Like a pop culture moment, or like
whatever out there. Yeah,
man. In 2024,
it's been a year, man.
You know what? I'm gonna say this because I gotta shout it out and shout them out. When my Detroit Lions got to the NFC Championship game, I love our head coach, Dan Campbell. Yeah. He makes you want to run through a brick wall. And I know the Lions, they do a lot of cool, like documentary style stuff on them, but I think the journey of them becoming good is very remember the Titans,
Yeah.
And so that's something I would say.
We're manifesting it.
Put it in the journal. Make it happen.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. It was great chatting with you.
Thank you both so
Cheers.
much.
Take it easy.
Take care.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.